Hello, parents. This is Saloni, the Senior Academic Counselor, presenting to you the live webinar on how to develop your analytical thinking skills with mathematics. So let's get to know Turito. So Turito is provides the best services, we provide the best online programs to students across Australia, the US, Canada, India, Singapore, the Middle East, and Europe. So we are trusted by 10,000 plus parents, 25,000 plus live classes we provide per month. We have more than 1,500 plus active teachers. So we have our services, which includes exam preparation, NAPLAN, and OC courses as per ACARA, Australia, and UK core, GSC, and IGCSE curricula. We have tutoring for maths, English, science, coding, and robotics. We have multiplied chances of high ATR scores and 11 plus preparation for entering secondary schools. So we have exclusive services which we provide live and engaging interactive classes, learning plans that fit student requirements, regular assessments with paper discussions, experienced top 1% educators, student-specific methodologies, doubt clarification for hurdle-free learning. We have parent app to track learner progress. We have even conceptual learning with applications. So we have with us our subject matter expert, Mr. Vasu. Mr. Vasu has 30 plus years of profound experience in teaching mathematics. Mr. Vasu has mentored over 4,000 SAT ACT top performers. He holds expertise in advanced calculus, algebra, trigonometry, geometry. He has also prepared content from 6th to 10th years for competitive exams and taught all years in schools. So during the session, if anybody has any kind of questions, they can put in the chat section. So in the end, it will be answered, by Mr. Vasu and our other subject matter experts. Over to you, Mr. Vasu.
Thank you, ma'am. You can stop share. Yeah, let's begin. A warm welcome to everyone. Now, today we are going to discuss on mathematics, how the thinking can be developed within the students. Now, the first one is numbers help us understand the world, and maths help us to understand numbers. The real life applications of mathematics are endless. We are surrounded by numbers, equations, and algorithms, especially in this age of data science, with huge data sets that can only be understood through statistical models and analysis. Maths gives us the ability to view the world in a way nothing else can. Now here we have right from the lower grades, a student understands about number system. Now what do you mean by a number system? In this you have natural number system, which goes from 1 to 3, so on, and whole number system, which includes 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Now 0 is the additive inverse, and 0 is an even number also. And then we have the rational number system and the rational number system. And the biggest system we have is the complex number system, which is understood in higher grades, 11th and 12th. Complex number system. Now here, we understand even what are prime numbers, how many prime numbers you have between 1 to 100. the composite numbers, the perfect squares, all these. Now, when you have the statistical data, for example, we have a female, male. Now, let us have a data like this. Some are having blue eyes, some are having brown eyes, and some are having green eyes. Now, female, here you have 2, here you have 8, here you have 1. So here you have 4, 6, 5. And then I can make a total in 2 different ways. Now here, one total I can make is, now totally you have 6 with blue eyes and 14, and here 6. Here another total I can make. This is 11, this is 15, this total is 26. So here, when a data is given, a statistical data is given, that among the people, how many are with blue eyes, how many are with brown eyes, and how many are with the green eyes. Now, from this data, you can actually have a ratio. Let us suppose ratio between blue eyes and brown eyes, or brown eyes and green eyes, or blue eyes and green eyes. Or from this data, even I can calculate proportion. I can calculate probability. So a data, when it is given, a real life scenario problem which models, where we can actually understand, for example, probabilities. How many blue eye females are present in the total? Or I can take how many blue eyes are present in the total females who are present. So 2 out of 11, like that. So like this, you can calculate ratio, you can calculate proportion, you can calculate probability from S data. So these include numbers where we can find all these things, right? From the lower grades, as you understand the subject, you can proceed. Next, moving ahead, max is black and white. There is no room for ambiguity. Now, unlike many other subject areas, max is not subjective. Every question has a clear answer, and when you solve it, you can either be right or wrong. There's no gray area. We can personally enjoy the objective approach and the certainty that comes with it. For example, root x is there. Root x is not negative. So there is a clear-cut answer for this. Now, how you can analyze? You can analyze like this. For example, you have y square is equal to 16. Or we write y is equal to plus or minus 4. Now, this can be understood graphically. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is the parabola you have. Now here at x is equal to 16. Now here we have two values, 16 comma 4, and this is 16 comma minus 4. So when is it, y square is 16, you get y equal to plus or minus 4. But if I write y equal to root 16, then the answer is only 4. Why? The graph actually, it will be only present in the first quadrant. It will not be present in first and fourth. It will be present only in first quadrant. Where for 16, you have 16 comma 4. So root of only positivity is here. If it is root of a negative number, it will be nothing but a complex number. But root x is always, it is not negative, it is either positive or 0. Now, for example, we take another example. You have parallel lines. They are cut by a transversal. These are the corresponding angles. Now, these are the corresponding angles. Why they are equal? Now, these are the two parallel lines which are cut by a transversal. The corresponding angles, these two are equal. Now, why they are equal means, for example, there is a line which is cutting two parallel lines. These are nothing but the angles of inclination. So angles of inclination, that's why they're equal. So for everything, we have a reasoning for it. So why it is. Now, for example, if you have a circle and if you have a tangent like this, now it is touching at a point. From the center, this line is always perpendicular. Now, why it is perpendicular? Sorry. Why it is perpendicular? So it is perpendicular is only because it is the shortest distance. This line is the shortest distance which is present. So that's why this line, the line drawn from the center, it is perpendicular always, it is the shortest distance. So every thing what we define or what we teach, actually for everything, there is a reasoning. So without reasoning, there is no max. And then old concepts are as relevant as new concepts. Now, see, for this, there is a sort of hierarchy with mathematical concepts. For instance, you simply can't understand calculus without having a hold over basic algebra first. Due to this, we have to bear in mind what that whenever you learn a new concept, it is something which will be referred to repeatedly as we learn the next one. As we see how everything clicks into place, it makes learning more interesting and more engaging. Now, see, for example, let us suppose we learn the geometry or the algebra right from the lower grades. Now, as you study, if you make a note of it, all the formulas or whatever concepts you are getting it, now that will be useful somewhere. For example, let us suppose algebra is there. In algebra, you learn about the various formulas like a plus b the whole square, a minus b the whole square. Like this, you have plenty of the formulas like a plus b times a minus b, which is difference of squares, and a plus b plus c, the whole square to the power of 2. So every concepts, all these concepts in algebra, when you learn, now then when you move into another chapter, which is trigonometry. Now let us suppose you are doing problems in identities in trigonometry. So the basic algebra, whatever we do, that will be helpful. For example, here we have a plus b the whole square plus a minus b the whole square is equal to twice of a square plus b square. Now this concept I can apply here as cos theta plus sine theta the whole square plus cos theta minus sine theta the whole square. So we can apply, when you know the algebraic formula, you can apply. So the one which you have learned or the algebraic formulas will be, and this is nothing but one, so it is 2 into 1, which is 2. So these algebra is connected to trigonometry. Now, as you move into calculus, let us suppose in calculus, you are doing derivatives or you are doing integration. Now, the help, whatever you get, whatever formulas you get in algebra, whatever formulas you get in trigonometry, again, while taking derivatives of trigonometrical functions or the integration of trigonometrical functions or any algebraic functions are there, then easily the student will understand if these formulas are there, the old concepts which he has learned will be applicable here. So there is a connection, there is a correlation between all these things. And even we have like this in vectors. Let us suppose when you learn vectors and as you move into three-dimensional geometry. Now see, whatever we learn in vectors is applicable here. For example, in vectors, we learn about unit vector. Now in three-dimensional, it is nothing but direction, cosines. Now the equation of line which you understand in vectors will be applicable how the concept is analyzed in three-dimensional. The equation of plane, how it is analyzed, the angle between the line and the plane, how it is analyzed in vectors, how it is there in three-dimensional. So whatever we learn here in vectors will be applicable in three-dimensional. Now, even for example, let us suppose you have learned about permutations and combinations. Now, the concepts of permutation and concepts combinations will be helpful while doing some probability problems. So again, there is a correlation or a connection between these two. So whatever the concepts you learn in permutation and combinations will be really very helpful in probability. So for every old concepts, whatever we learn, that will be helpful as you move on into higher grades or into any other chapters. Then moving ahead. Now, nothing can be proved without evidence. Now, there is no place for speculation when you learn maths. Whenever you try to prove something in maths, you need evidence. We personally believe that this is something which should be applied in others as well. Imagine the number of misunderstandings which could be prevented if visual or any other evidence to be provided here. For example, here in maths, for example, you have the distributive property, A times B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Now, this distributive property, when you explain to a student, here there is an evidence that A will be distributed here when you multiply over addition. So for this concept to be explained, you can explain 5 times 10 plus 3 is there. So we can write 5 times 10 plus 5 times 3. Now the evidence will be here. If left-hand side and right-hand side both are equal, then it is correct. So 5 times 13 is there. So this will be 65. Now this will be 50 plus 15, which is also 65. So there is a clear-cut evidence that left-hand side and right-hand side are equal. So I can say that this is a distributive property where A is distributed over B and C. Now, or for example, you have a point, you have a line. Now, how many perpendiculars can be drawn? So you can draw only one perpendicular from a point to a line. Now, why not these are not perpendicular, the other lines? For example, if you take one figure in this is a right angle triangle, and this is the shortest distance. This other lines, whatever you draw, those will become the hypotenuse. So that's why there is a clear-cut evidence to prove that these lines will not be the shortest distance. This is the shortest distance. Only one line you can have here, which is perpendicular, which you can draw it. Now, moving ahead, it presents a good mind-blending challenge. Yeah, every max problem is a new, fresh, and unique challenge. The adrenaline rush you get from when you finally solve a problem, which initially seemed impossible, is unparalleled. We feel like Max constantly keeps you on your toes and never gets monotonous. So each new day learning is this wonderful subject area is unexpected and something you can look forward to. Now, for example, see how the concepts build and how they will be. For example, if you take an equilateral triangle, so what do you mean by an equilateral triangle where all the sides are equal? Now, when you say all the sides are equal, and you know that the sum of the, you must know that one concept is the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. And because all the sides are equal, every angle in this equilateral triangle must be equal to 60 degrees. Now, this is one concept we developed. Then what we can do, for example, you take an equilateral triangle. Now you drop a perpendicular. Now, when you drop a perpendicular, this line, which is perpendicular, you must know that this is not only perpendicular, this is a median which bisects the opposite side. It is an internal angular bisector so that this angle will be 30, this angle will be 30. So this is also the perpendicular bisector to this side. This is angle is 60 and this triangle is 30, 60, 90. So when the angles are in 30, 60, 90, so the ratio of the sides will be 1:3:2. So 30 opposite, this is 1 and this is the √3 and this is 2. This is only ratio. You can have any multiplier to it so that you can get the height when the side is given, or you can get the side when the height is given. So the concepts are built here. Now, from one concept, you are moving on to the other concept. All sides are equal. Each angle is 60 degrees. This line, whatever line, all the lines which you draw, they behave in the same way. They are perpendicular. They are angular bisectors. They are medians. They are perpendicular bisector to the sides. All these things, and 30, 60, 90 degrees. So you can find the height. You can find the side. So every concept is built here from one to the other. Now, moving ahead. Create and promote analytical thinking. Now, analytical thinking is the breaking down a problem into small expressions or arguments using deduction or considering each piece of information separately to judge its reliability. The importance of breaking down the problem helps to solve the problem without missing any crucial factor. We face complex situations sometimes, so having right understanding in maths helps to solve many problems and practical cases with ease. Your mind will find interesting ways of solving problems no matter its severity and complexity. Now, for example, mainly we get a lot of word problems in competitive examinations. This is a real life word scenarios of problems you'll get. Now, in this, actually, when the word problem is given, break the sentences, understand what is given in the problem, what is that you have to find in this problem. So move into that direction where to solve the problem. So otherwise, you can make a hell of the problem. It becomes complicated to a student. So understanding what is given. So for that, you need to actually break down the sentences so that you can understand what is better and what is that you have to solve in the problem. So especially word problems, you need one has to know the concepts better. Even though you have solved many problems, but if the concepts are not clear, you can't really go into and do the problems very well. Now moving ahead, mathematics improves thinking. Yes. Now this is the main actually topic. So studying numbers trains brain thinking faster. When faced with challenges in reality, your brain should comprehend information faster and provide an efficient solution. He or she will be able to handle the stress of daily routine without buckling under pressure, as well as feel the urge of for investigating a situation further before making a decision. Now, for example, now how the thinking will start. For example, you'd see a quadratic function. Now, the quadratic function looks like, let us suppose, a 3x square plus some 5x plus 2 equal to 0. Now, the student knows how to factorize this one if it can be factorizable, or this is not factorizable. So it can be factorized or it cannot be factorized. Then this will also explain you that this is a parabola. And one must know how to draw the graphs of the parabola. When the coefficient of x square is positive, the concavity will be up. When the coefficient of x square is negative, the concavity will be down. And understanding the x-intercepts, the y-intercept of the parabola, and also you have to understand about the vertex of the parabola. So here, this thinking starts from when you see the quadratic function, how you are moving, that is very important. So what type of things? For example, if I have a linear function. Now in linear function means it is a line. Now let us suppose this is a line. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Let us suppose the graph is given. Now when the graph is given, this is x-intercept and this is the y-intercept. Now you can actually calculate the slope of the line. You can even find some lines where the intercepts are not present. Means these are lines which are passing through origin. So linear functions. Now, for example, exponential functions are there. Now one has to know the law of exponents first. After knowing the law of exponents, they must know about the two graphs which are present. Y is equal to f of x is equal to a to the power of x, where a is greater than 1. So it's a strictly increasing function. And then you have the other graph, y is equal to f of x is equal to a power x, where a lies between 0 and 1. Now, these graphs actually tell you about the domain, the range, the y-intercept, and all these things. Then moving ahead, so right from exponents we started. Now then the student will understand about exponentiation. What is exponentiation? So it will be in the form of y is equal to a b power x, where the population growth and the population decay can be understood. So generally a bacteria which is growing, let us suppose, or decay is radioactive element which is decaying. So like this, you have logarithmic graphs. So graphs actually plays a very important role in solving many problems in mathematics, and the ability to think about a problem. So from one concept to another. So as the student thinks and getting the solutions of the problems, he'll develop confidence in him that he can do better. Now moving ahead, making wise choices in real life. Now, I tell you an example. So food is essential for living. However, not every meal is good for health. The importance of math in daily life is in calculating the calories. Now, whatever we have learned in maths, we can apply the application. Calories in each meal before indulging. Calculate how your meal fits into required daily calorie intake and make the right decision. Also count how much time taking burning down excess calories. Now, all this is nothing but mathematics application in real life. Now you should make better, healthier choices. Your knowledge in percentage calculations, subtraction, division skills, getting approximate values, all the scientific notations, approximations. So all these things will be helpful. So maths will be really, in real life, you can enjoy it. Then moving ahead, the time management. Now, there are two types of time management. First, I want to explain maths helps appreciate and value time. We can make conscious, wise decisions and how you spend time. Uh, and we will be required to manage time properly always, whether you are at work or school. It is crucial to control it properly or use it wisely, because otherwise you won't even notice how much money you put into the other important things. Now here actually two types of time management. One I suggest for a student is time management is, now let us suppose what are the timings of the school he has and what are the other things he has. Now what is the free time he gets when the school is there, when the school is not there. This free time, how he has to allocate between the subjects for studying, for developing the concepts within him, practicing the subjects. So this free time, how he manages the time, that also Max gives you all beautiful solutions for this. Now, another type of time management which I want to say is when you're writing about competitive exams, let us suppose, preparing for competitive exams. Now, when the student prepares for competitive exams, let us suppose he has gone with all the content and he has done everything, and then he can practice some papers, putting a time limit so that he can solve problems while going through the paper. Which problems are very easy to solve them first, and then the time will be left over so that he can put it on the problems which are hard or lengthy. So all these type of time management skills the student can develop uh, with using Max. So how we can say, for example, an exam is for 50 minutes. Now in 50 minutes, let us suppose there are 25 questions. Now in these 25 questions, by using head or mental calculation, how many problems you can find it easily, so that let us suppose 15 problems he has solved in 15 minutes using the short tips or the shortcuts. Now the other 10 problems which are remaining, so he has a lot of time there, so that he can manage the time and he can utilize it. So that comes from practice, practicing the competitive examinations, and then developing that skill is very important. Now moving ahead, now learn Max the Turito way. Now how we are going to have all these things? Learn concepts with real life examples. Now, as I said earlier, one beautiful example is distributive property. Now, before the teacher puts what is distributive property with an example, let us suppose I can take two chocolates I want to distribute in a class consisting of 10 boys and 5 girls. So 20 chocolates to boys and 10 chocolates to girls. So first, before entering into the concept, if I can explain with an example, and then with real life example, this is a real life example in a class we can take and we can give it to the student. So that really, so that concept which he gets into his mind, he won't forget it. So he will understand, yes, this is a concept where I can develop distributive property, A times B plus C is AB plus AC. So this concept, where all the concepts which if you learn with real life examples maximum, so that will help that you'll not forget in future. Access engaging and active teaching with the two-way interactions. Now, while teaching the student, asking him continuously whether he has understood the problem or the concept, and then from the student side, giving him problem so that he will struggle and get the answer. So the direction, the thinking, everything. So that there is a two-way interaction between the teacher and the student. Eliminating misconceptions. There are many misconceptions in maths. So for example, A divided by B over C is there. Now here C is dividing B, it is not dividing A. So or A square plus B square over A plus B is not equal to A plus B. So you can't cancel this A and this B. So understanding misconceptions will lead to how are the concepts are. So that is very important for the student so that he will not do any mistake while solving problems. Now building up confidence and clarity. Now here when there is a two-way interaction between the student and the teacher, and as the student does properly, so the guidance will be there from the teacher, so that whether he is understanding the concept or giving him more examples so that he understands the concept. So that will build confidence in the student. He will not get boredom that I'm unable to understand. So all these things can be eliminated. There is a clarity in the concepts, and the way of teaching will be like that. Get motivation for both correct and incorrect answers. So let us suppose the student has done really very good in problem solving. So then the teacher actually will appreciate him. Now, if you are doing incorrect way, so then actually the guidance must be given to the student that this is where you are doing mistake. So this direction is not correct. So this thinking is not correct. So your approach is wrong because of this. So identifying where the mistakes are done by the student and then helping him how actually you can solve the problem. So that really uh, where the student can develop. That is very important because it's a one-to-one interaction with the student. The teacher can really help out. There is no one in this class except the teacher and the student, so that the teacher can easily, even the student also will have some freeness where he can ask doubts and clarify more. Ditch the fear of max by building interest. So max actually it is a language where you have to learn with fun. So the concepts or whatever, it's like a puzzle or it's like fun where the concepts are given to the student. He actually must be encouraged and he will get that confidence and the interest in the subject that he will have. As I said, this is a class between the student and the teacher. He will have that freeness to ask doubts. So he will develop interest and everything. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much. Any question and answers?
Thank you so much, Mr. Vasu, for such an insightful session. Now we have our program manager, Ms. Priyanka. So she will answer all your questions and answers. So I would request you parents to put all your questions in the chat section so that Priyanka, Mr. Vasu and me can take care of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saloni ma'am. So we have some questions here. First question is, in today's society, many students feel stressed or anxious to learn maths as they assume that they are not smart enough. What can we do to inspire students to learn maths without feeling stressed or anxious?
Yes, ma'am. Here, actually, yeah, this is correct. They are stressed out. So, see, they are stressed out sometimes is that first, it may be that they may not be understanding in the regular school where they are doing maths. Now, as they come home, for example, the first topic that we are doing, so we can have a formula book for this so that he can write the formulas of that particular topic, revise them without seeing, write them, understand them, whether he has understood the concept which is told in the class. If he has not understood, that will be really a stress to him because anything which we can't understand and for on that you have an assignment or you have an exam on that particular topic, then the real stress of the student comes out that he will be not enjoying max. So this is all because a proper revision or proper understanding of the concepts is not really with the student. So for this, actually, I suggest one point is formula book, where if you can keep a formula book at home, writing the formulas, whatever he is getting or the concepts, whatever he is getting in every topic and revising them. Revising them means not revising aloud. So writing them on a paper, piece of paper, understanding them with real life examples, as we told earlier. So that concept, when he learns, this is the concept, then he can solve any problem in this world. Some problems may take time, but the struggle what the student puts there, it is very important. So let us suppose some students are struggling with some problems, we are not getting it. Immediately the teacher, if they tell the answer, that is also not correct because there must be a struggle. So then when there is a struggle, the student will think in n number of directions to how to solve the problem. He has the concepts with him. So then he will have that approach. Maybe he may be late to get the problem solved, but one day or the other he will get that skill that any problem he can solve very well. But for that you need to have concepts. So concepts must be built. So this stress factor and everything is because the student is not really understanding in the class, or some of the students are able to answer the questions very easily in the class and he thinks that I am not doing the same. So all these things are there from the student side of it. This will have that stressing, all these factors will be there. Any other question?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we have one more question, sir. How much time it takes for a student to learn analytics?
How much time?
How much time it takes for a student to learn analytics?
Is the question there, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. How much time? I didn't get you. Please repeat it. Okay, my son, we have another question here. My son and is in year 5 in UK. Do you have syllabus which cover year 5 for UK? Priyanka, you can answer.
So can you repeat?
Yeah, my son and is in year 5 in UK. Do you have syllabus which cover year 5 for UK? Secondly, to help him to
Yes,
prepare
we
for.
do have. Yeah, we do have curriculum for both Australia and UK, and the tutors are also trained differently for UK and Australia. So the team will be contacting them, and they can schedule the demo session. So we have another question, sir. How can you be better in maths?
Yeah. So the answer is perfectly already I told you. So first thing is to become perfect in maths. So one has to understand the concepts for every topic which I told, and the old topics must be connected to the new concepts as you learn, because there is a correlation or there is a connection. So for this, as I said earlier, you must have a formula book, keep a formula book, revise the topics, understand the concepts by the real life examples, and then solving different model exams. So that is very important. So let us suppose A is given, B is given, apply the formula and get the answer. If you have 10 problems or 11 problems or 100 problems based on the same model problem, that will not really develop the student. So there must be a change in the problem. There must be a little bit change in the problem where the student starts thinking. It must not become monotonous to the student. So change the model of the problem. So let us suppose you have how to calculate the nth term of a arithmetic sequence. You have a formula a1 plus n minus 1 into d equal to that an. So give him A1, give him D, give him AN, find N. So you can really change. So out of the variables which are present, 4 variables, you can change with the 3 variables. So solving different modal problems and generally word problems, more of word problems, because in the competitive exams or as he moves into higher grades, a lot of word problems are there. So understanding the problem, what is given in the problem, that is very important in word problems. Not like any other problem where you are given something to find something. That is very easy. Understanding the problem, understanding the question is very important. What is given? So to be better in maths, one is a formula book, having all the formulas and revising the concepts very well. So that I think the fear in maths will be eliminated and he moves successful in each and every case.
So we have one more question. My
Yeah.
son doesn't like maths. That fear you mentioned, I homeschool him. We are based in UK. He is 12 years old and currently year 8. How can I ignite that love for maths within him?
Yes, doesn't like maths means maybe sometimes because of this school curriculum, the school teaching, or the way he might not have received the concept. That is first thing. You see, as I told earlier, maths must be like a fun. So there must be some nexus between the teacher and the student. The interaction, the two-way interaction must be there. What happens in school is there is a group class. So when the group is there, one or two members answering the solution, and the teacher moving on. So you may not be the student may not be understanding really the problem, or he may be not asking doubts that I didn't understand. He may not be open because he thinks that what the other kids will feel about him. So this must be there. The fear factor develops, and as he's scoring less, actually less grades in his exams and everything, then the fear factor will increase, and he will not have any love for mathematics. Now, mathematics actually, as I told you, it is a fun where the language must be taught in a proper way. So concepts must be very crystal clear with the student. Otherwise, he will not be able to understand. So, my one of the best option I can tell is the student must have a one-one discussion with the teacher. So where his doubts can be rectified, or if he has any misconceptions that can be eliminated, and so he has to build confidence on the he must have the confidence on the teacher also, because the teacher will create the clarity among the concepts which he or she is learning. So there must be some nexus between the student and the teacher. That is very important. So in a group class, sometimes more times it happens, not sometimes, sorry. So it may happen more times with more students. So as soon as they are not able to understand, and as you are moving into the subject deeper and deeper, so he will not have any interest. That is the first thing what happens to the student. Practice is very important. So to practice every day, as soon as every topic is completed, all the topics at least one day he has to revise, so that he will be having that concepts in his mind. So that I told there is a old concepts and new concepts. There is a correlation that you can't leave any part of max. You can't say I will learn only geometry, I will learn only trigonometry, I will learn only calculus or algebra. So everything is interconnected in max. So you can't delete anything. So to have interest, to develop interest, first the concepts must be clarified within the student. So that is very important. Yes, ma'am.
So the same parent has asked one more question. He refuses to and struggle to memorize his timetable. I think it's tables. Is that a must to progress?
Yeah. Uh, Tables, actually, I don't know how actually the tables are taught, but let us suppose 3 times 4 is there. Now, 3 times 4, you can just have an example with the student that you can keep 3 pebbles, again 3 pebbles, again 3 pebbles, again 3 pebbles. Ask him to count. Now he will start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. He will land at 12. So there must be, see, it's nothing but like a game. Let us suppose me and the child are playing the game. So I have some pebbles where I keep them in some order, 3, 3, 3. I keep them, or 4, 4, 4. So 3 times, then you can say you count this by grouping them into 3 or by grouping them into 4. Now, by when you group them in 4, it is 4 times 3, it is 12. So 3 times 4, it is 12. So you can say that if the order is changed, also the answer is same. So he has to develop interest in tables, means it must start with a game type. So then he will really, the motivation comes in max. So taking a paper, writing on a paper 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. So, in the beginning, it will not be like a interest in the subject. So first play a game with them, and then uh, ask them to let us put the same thing on the paper. So then, as you put it, but because see, I'm telling about the simple tables, but as you move on to a 7 table or an 8 table, so you can't show by examples also in all the ways. So first, to get interest, you have to start with the 2 table or 3 table, where you can have some examples of pebbles or matchsticks or something you can use. So, and then if he starts getting interested, he will only ask, let us play the game. So then you must say, okay, we'll play the game, but you have to put it on paper also. So something must be done with the student. Otherwise, see, the interest will not be developed. So it's like a game. So play a game with him with the tables in the beginning, but as soon as you go, you ask him to put it on paper, so you can do it. See, and there must be some encouragement from our side also, that you have to a little bit pampering must be there, so that you will understand that yes, I'm getting some confidence in doing this. So all these things must be developed. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we do have some questions apart from maths. Like we do have computer science. Like, do you do computer science? Do you help to prepare for grammar school entrance exam for UK? And can you send some information regarding your services or tutoring? We are in UK. My child is will be taking his GCSEs. So yeah, all the parents will be contacted after the webinar is done. Within 24 hours, they'll get a call from the team and they can discuss about their requirements and we'll schedule the demo session according to that. Another question we have is, I agree it's all about understanding the concept and having the right teacher. He loves puzzles and is a bright child. How would your tuition center help support him?
Yeah. See, if he's a bright child, see, for bright child, actually, what happens is a different type of assignment is required. So he may be very good in the delivery. When we deliver it with some problems, he is doing very good. So he is a challenging child. So where we can go with some more tougher problems with them, that is very important. Because if you give him the easy ones, he is able to do it. So if he is a bright child, go with a stronger type of problems. That is very important. Now the tuition center, how they support him means, when we identify that the student is capable of doing one type of assignment, we will be giving some more different types or harder problems so that he will think on that and he can do on that. So it already it will be nothing but a tailored system where for that particular child we can enhance it, the assignments or anything we can enhance and we can do it with them.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we are good for now, and we'll be ending the session now. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to know more about Turito, visit our website www.turito.com. And if you have any queries, please feel free to reach us at care@turito.com. For a better way of learning, join Turito now. Have a great day.